So our next speaker for the Global Innovation Management Institute think tank is Alberto Arvizu. He's a professor at Monterrey Tech. We've had a relationship with him over the last many years. He is an academic on one side, but an entrepreneur on the other side. He has driven labs, innovation labs and teams. He has brought students from Monterrey to the United States, to Cambridge, to inspire them and to see how we can make engineers into business innovators and others. He is the one who's trying to connect all the Monterrey Tech campuses together to see how innovation can be spread across this university. And a good friend, a fun person to be around, always optimistic, always positive. And the story he's going to share, I think, will be very inspiring for all of you to see how you might be able to do some of the things that he's doing in what I would call a bureaucracy. Academia is tough, academia is slow, leadership changes, and organizations are changing, and universities are changing. So for all of you who are interested in doing a partnership with the University of Peru or Lima, or somebody wants to do a partnership with the university in Yonsei or Seoul, we have those partnerships. Now maybe we can think about how to make them bigger. So Alberto is going to talk about all those interesting things. And we're privileged to have you with us, Alberto. And he's a dear friend, and he is our CTP partner in Mexico. Alberto, you have the floor.
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much, Hitendra, for your words. Yeah, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to share what we have been doing for the last years. And if you don't mind, I'm going to share my screen so I can introduce myself properly and try to share how excited I am to be part of this amazing project that we are running together. We call this presentation, part Tecnológico de Monterrey, developing an innovation ecosystem with GIMI. Yeah, that's Hitendra talking before our students right in the back of the slide. And about myself a little bit, my name is Alberto Arvizu. I'm a Mexican, Mexican from a small place close to Texas, El Paso, Texas. The name of the city, Chihuahua. My background is engineering. I worked in Ford Motor Company for 5 years making engines. I had the opportunity to live in Cambridge for almost 8 years. I had the opportunity to attend a master's program right there in Harvard. Then I worked for the healthcare industry, very close to Foxborough, Massachusetts, where the Patriots play. Then I was invited to join this consulting firm in Mexico, consulting firm in terms of innovation and also product design. I'm happy to share that people who worked there, they are involved in for example, in the new Bronco Sport design. That was one of the main products designed in Mexico, by the way. And thanks to that company used to teach a program at MIT and in design, of course. And I was very lucky to be invited in 2013 to be a teaching assistant in that project that the company teaches at MIT. It was a great experience, but the best part of coming to Cambridge again in 2013, it was that was the time that I met IXL and the GIMI project. So in 2013, it was like an eye-opening. I fell in love with the methodology. I got to know Hitendra and other members in IXL and GIMI. And after that, I was invited by Tecnológico de Monterrey, which I will talk about Tec de Monterrey in a few minutes, but I was invited to be part of the innovation faculty in Chihuahua, Mexico. So I came back to the city where I belong. And one of the things that I like about Tec de Monterrey, maybe you are not familiar with the university, for those who are not familiar, Tec de Monterrey is a private university in Mexico. We have 26 different sites around the country. Let's say the headquarters is in Monterrey City. Some of you are familiar with the city, a huge industrial and innovative city. One of the main questions that Tec de Monterrey had is what's going to happen with education? And I'm going to answer, well, we don't have the answer, but we're trying to respond that question. The Tec de Monterrey has like 50,000 students around the country, 11,000 professors also. Some of the awards that we have received recently is it was the first non-American university to be part of the Princeton review list because of the entrepreneurship program that we offer. And as I was saying, one of the questions that Tec de Monterrey had in mind was like, what is going to happen with education in the next years, 10, 20, 50 years? We are teaching in facilities from the 1800s with professors like me from the 1900s to students from the 2000s, right? So what is going to happen? So we decided to explore and experiment changes. We have done many innovations in terms of education, and one single innovation that we did, for example, was to the regular semester. We stopped regular classes for 1 week and students start learning different things. We develop activities for 1 week. We develop activities where we try students to learn from different aspects. You stop, let's say you are taking electromagnetics theory, but you stop taking that and you can join a program in arts, you can join a certification, you can join a program in dancing or music only for 1 week. That was one experiment that when I learned about that, the first thing that came to my mind when I was asking myself, what can I do in that 1 week when everything stops and the students have the opportunity to learn something different? The first answer and the only answer that I had is I have to take my students to the city of Boston to do a certification program in innovation. And it's actually when everything started. We had meetings with IXL and GIMI, and we said, guys, can we do something in a week? And I remember Hitendra and all the team saying, yes, we can do something. How many students? We started with 30 students. And I can tell you, whether you are right now in the audience, part of a company, if you are working for a university, if you are a student, or if you are a business consultant, I would tell you, you are in the right place right now. The experience of having students coming to Boston, and also the experience of having students taking the virtual program with IXL, which we just did a couple of weeks ago, it's a transformation, not only for them, but also for us. Every time we have an experience with GIMI and IXL, there is a learning process for the faculty and obviously for the students. So I would like to share a little bit about what we have lived with IXL and GIMI, and some stories of success and what we have in mind for the future. Please, if you have any questions, any comments, just go ahead and we can answer your question. And of course, at the end, I understand there's a part for questions and answers. So what we do with students at IXL and GIMI facilities in Cambridge, they live an intensive week of working. They work with a real client, a real challenge. They work together with the client during the week, trying to solve a challenge, trying to solve something companies haven't solved yet. We find a strong methodology, to be honest, is a very clear, I mean, you are familiar with them, but from the student perspective, from outsiders perspective, it's a very clear and strong methodology that you can follow and you can apply for any industry. So it's interesting to see in 5 days how students from theory to practice, they go all the way and they solve problems. A few weeks ago, we were working with a challenge in Latin America, and we have students from different countries. There was this guy from Germany saying, I would like to have this program in Germany. We have students from Guatemala per se, and I remember she was saying it would be fantastic to have something like this in our countries. And Guatemala is also having, and I know they are very familiar, and there's very important people from Guatemala already using this methodology. But what I'm trying to say here is students have the opportunity and get to learn that methodology in five days. One of the interesting things from bringing students is the coaching. That's something that they really value. Like people from the organization, IXL, GIMI, always being there, like following and pushing them a little bit. They finding like, okay, that's something that they miss sometimes. Like I would like to have that support when I'm at school. So that's something that the GIMI program has developed very well. Of course, the software and everything that we use is also helpful. And I can tell you by the experience of the student, it's a very, very challenging week for them. It's tough that they know by Wednesday. We usually do it from Monday through Friday. And by Wednesday, they are like, I don't want to know anything about this. But by Friday, they say it was really, really worth it. So the innovation project itself with the methodology, it's a life-changing project. So also part of the experience that we live there when we visit Cambridge is the networking. We have sessions at Holt or MIT. Part of the academic program is taken either not with MIT, but in MIT facilities or Holt facilities. We had the opportunity to visit once the Harvard Innovation Lab. And it was interesting, like when you get there and you experiment the innovation ecosystem, it's interesting for foreigners and for students and for us to see how innovation runs in different countries. So the guest speakers also have been a very, very powerful tool for the students to develop different skills. Part of the program also includes tours. Of course, they have to learn about art and history and, the shopping and iconic places. Like, for example, the place that you see at the very bottom is this library is inside Harvard. The owner of this library, he died in the Titanic, Harry Elkins Weiner. And when he died, he donated his books and all his collections to the Harvard University. His mother did. So part of the full project, the whole project for the students is the academic part, the networking part, and I'm not going to say touristic part, but learning from the environment and the ecosystem. We always have a question. If I go back to to this, we always have a question. that already has an answer when we visit the facilities in Cambridge. Let's say we have to prepare a program from next October. And in our minds is we don't know what is going to happen in the city of Cambridge in October, but we know there is going to be something interesting by then, so we can have the students visit. One example is in 2017, we had the opportunity to take students together with GIMI to see Michelle Obama, to see Adam Grant, and also Ed Catmull from Pixar. And the point here is that visiting one of the greatest innovation ecosystems in the world gives you the opportunity to complement the academic part of the project. Any questions here? Any comments so far? Histories of Success. So far, some of our students, and that happened in the first time we had students at GIMI. 5 students were selected to participate in the Olympics that you guys have, some of the projects that GIMI has, and the Innovations Olympics selected, or the team selected one of the teams of undergraduates that we brought to Cambridge. The team, they obtained the 2nd place at the end. It was interesting because these undergraduate students were competing against PhD students and master's degree program students. So once again, the power of learning that methodology, it's open for everyone, not only for PhD and master's degree program, but also for undergraduate. Some of the students that have been hired by firms like McKinsey, Bain and Company, PCW, 2 years after they took the program, they called us and say, you know what, the certification program in innovation was a life-changing program. The methodology, according to them, is a tool for understanding reality, but also creating the future. And I'm quoting that one. Some of the students have done and are doing internships with IXL Center. Some of the students have returned to Boston to do research. There is a program that we also have with Harvard, MIT, and Brigham and Women's Hospital. They have returned to the innovation ecosystems thanks to the program that they lived in with GIMI. And those who are working internationally also refer to the experience as a life-changing learning week. We received a phone call a few months ago from France. There was this student, Renata Contreras. She called us and she said, you know what, I'm working in Paris with this organization. They were working on environmental programs. And one of the things, or the reasons she called us, was to say thank you very much for having us in the certification program in IXL. Recently, as everybody knows, we had the program from the distance. We had a virtual program. We believed it was not going to be as attractive, but we were very surprised that even though it was online, even though the student missed this visiting part, this all the game, besides the methodology, we thought it was not going to be attractive for the students. And it was not only attractive, but at the end, they said, they keep saying it's a life-changing methodology, is challenging, it's complicated, working in a project for 1 week. in Zoom, it could be challenging, but at the end of the project, they said, you know what, I really recommend the Semana Y, that's how we call it, the Semana Y with IXL and GIMI to learn the methodology in innovation. Part of our faculty, now we are certified trainers, and we are also bringing professors. We had the opportunity to bring around 30 faculty members about 2 years ago to the city of Boston and Cambridge. And again, there was like before and after they take the process. So by now, we believe that we can look into the future and do many, many more things. We can try more things. So what we are considering is adding the certification program into our academic offer. The plan is to have a partnership with Tec de Monterrey and the Global Innovation Management Institute. We would like to certify from 20 to 30 faculty members to become trainers, and then include the program as part of the official offer that we have, not only for students, but also for professors. So we are working on that. I believe Tec de Monterrey in Mexico is a huge platform to expand and to distribute all the innovation efforts that the world really needs now. The world is changing. Someone said the world is flat, the world is connected, Thomas Friedman, as you know, and we have a great opportunity in front of us to expand the innovation efforts in order to have better companies, better educational systems, better citizens, and a better future. So that's pretty much what we have done. I hope I didn't consume more than 20 minutes, but that's pretty much what we have done. We're really excited. We're really happy to be in touch with GIMI. We see a lot of things coming in the future. And as I said, everyone going through the process, everyone leaving the project, whether it is in the city or virtually, it's a life-changing process. Every time, as you may think it, every time you are part of a session with GIMI or IXL, there is a before and after. So think about 1 week, it's a life-changing process. Thank you. Thank you very much for the time. And I'm glad to hear questions, to hear answers. One of the things I don't want to forget that one of the things that Tec de Monterrey did, as Hitendra was mentioning, one of the things that we did, we visited Waterloo in Canada a few years ago. And, you know, the BlackBerry was designed there. There was and it was, even though the BlackBerry was not part of the business anymore, it's interesting that you can use the Wi-Fi. For example, the BlackBerry Wi-Fi signal, which is open, or it was open. It's a capital of technology, as Hitendra mentioned. So happy to be here, happy to answer your questions, and thank you very much for the opportunity.
Beto, this is great. Thank you. Thank you for giving us some view from the inside of Monterrey Tech in terms of how this innovation and everything is happening. Just for the audience, Monterrey Tech is one of the leading engineering schools in the world. Again, just like Waterloo represents Canada, Monterrey Tech represents Mexico. And if anybody wants to be a great engineer, even across Latin America, Monterrey Tech is a choice. It's one of the options people consider if you're from Peru, Chile, Argentina, wherever. So this is one of the leading schools. And it's set its targets to becoming one of the premier institutions in the world as a choice for global students. So everything you're seeing in Monterrey is not saying we want to catch up to MIT or we want to catch up to American institutions. It's to be a global institution, right? And therefore be the benchmark for everybody else. So there's a lot of learnings. Everybody I've met at Monterrey Tech, I've been inspired by. So Alberto, that's just a statement. My question to you is, one, how many students are you trying to target if you could get this program running correctly? And what's the bureaucracy you're going to face to try and make it real?
Yeah, I'm thinking about from 250 to 300 students to begin with. The project that I have in mind, we are designing what we call concentrations, which is something like a major. And I believe the certification program fits perfectly in that major, which is for the 6th semester. It's right now for 1 semester. So we are, for those students who decide to take that major or concentration, we are thinking about having around 300 students. And I'm thinking about from 20 to 30 professors, if that answered the first question. The second question, bureaucracy, as you said, that's like a brick wall. And I'm assuming in the whole world. So, and like they say, the first person who goes through the wall is the person who bleeds a lot. So I'm trying to be that person who bleeds a lot, trying to break the wall and say, look, there's outside options that we can get inside our academic offer. So it's going to be tough. Yes, it's going to be tough, but I trust Tec de Monterrey to be open to. They have been open recently, but still, you know, there is bureaucracy that we have to overcome.
Alberto, we are going to stand right next to you, with you, as you charge the wall. And we will make sure that we break through the wall and then go beyond 250 to 2,000. Eventually, every student should have something of this type of toolkits to be able to do bigger and better things. So thank you for that input. I've got a hand up from Enrique and then from Dr. Bob. So Enrique, why don't you go first?
Thank you, HP. Alberto, felicidades, felicitaciones.
Thank you, gracias, gracias, Enrique.
I like it very much. I sit on the council of one university here in my country, and I'm working with several of them. And these are the type of experiences that we need to share. You know, I'm eager to have additional conversation with you, because that's something that we need to share and inspire other people in our countries to follow, similar examples, and to make sure that we can move our country and our people to the next level. So congrats again, and I will follow up with you to see how we can also explore opportunity with Peru as well, for sure.
I'll be happy to continue anything you need to know. We are connected, and I guarantee you, first group of people that lives there, you will see the change right away. It's like magical. It is. So I'll be happy to keep the conversation with you.
Tremendous.
Thank you, Enrique. Dr. Bob, you have a question.
Sure. No, the acronym is ITESM. Is that correct? Or is that a different institution?
Yeah, which part of the changes? Yeah, you are correct. That's the same institution. Okay. We changed name. That was part of the recent changes that we have done recently.
Okay. The reason why I'm checking is because I put Monterrey Tech and University of Calgary in, and as of November 16, 2021, which would have been like 3 weeks ago, there's a joint partnership between our institutions that I didn't know about. You probably didn't know about, but because they have the protocols and whatever, it makes life a lot simpler in terms of all the bureaucracy on both sides. So I put some things in the chat. Let's do some email connection. We can scale really fast. Plus, look at RoboGarden. because you're going to need coding skills with Python,
We
and you're going
do.
to need Java and JavaScript. That's all done. And you could be the Mexico partner for RoboGarden, and you do a revenue share. I'm on the board of directors. And what happens is, so instead of the professors teaching the students the basic coding skills, all that can be online. Then you spend your time doing the applications. So it'll be, and there's also it's all at the, it looks like it's kids things. It's all gamified learning, and it can run with or without professors. And it goes to the University of Calgary has a whole program on that, but we could take that program and put it in with you for the whole country, like tomorrow. Like
Fantastic.
One of the things that's happening here now, Alberto, and this is what I'm saying is the speed of connecting is going faster than I've ever seen it. That's what's happening. With Enrique, we can do the same thing in Peru. So we're going to talk about that. There's lots of things happening. It's all good. So welcome. And let's go make some good things happen. The fact that the institution's already connected, I didn't know about, but I had heard, I'm familiar with Monterrey Tech. So this is good. I call it the MIT of Mexico.
It is. It is.
Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Bob. Yeah, I didn't mention that, but yes, we have like 500. We are connected with around 500 different universities around the world, and we try to be connected with the best. That's the reason why the University of Calgary is part of that ecosystem that we are looking for. So again, I'll be happy to have a conversation if you like anytime.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Excel, do you have a question?
Yes. Thank you, Alberto, for your presentation. I was wondering which students can participate in Semana E?
Any students for any program, they are all undergraduate students, but you can be from any program. We've had finance students, biotechnology students, lawyers. I believe it's important that every innovation is for every single discipline. So we want that, and when we get there, we try to mix them up as much as we can, like the finance with the engineering, with the lawyer. We also think about diversity. So yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And also from first semester all the way to 10th or 9th semester.
Why don't we collaborate together to get your students and University of Calgary students in engineering and business to work on common sustainable development goal technology issues that need solutions. And then instead of having a competition, we actually make something happen for people that need software or hardware or solutions for water, whatever it is. This would be good.
That'd be awesome.
Great. Alberto, there's a hand up for Maria. Maria, would you like to ask a question?
Actually, comment and question, Alberto. Thanks for your presentation. Of course, I've been witnessing the whole journey from beginning to end. And I think you're really one true champion of both IXL Center and GIMI. Every time you speak with Alberto, he has an idea on how to partner with something else, something different, how to grow. So he has this huge ambition. So he's one of those really true champions for both IXL and GIMI. So we appreciate you a lot for that, Alberto. And just one question that I have for you is, how did the learning, I remember we had the one you mentioned, one Semana E of professors that came here to Boston and was part of that specific Semana E, or just like an epic, I think it was named. But how did the learning transferred internally within Tec de Monterrey? Like, did any of those professors actually started getting to like more of innovation teaching? Like what happened with that knowledge that they took with them?
Well, yeah, some of those professors, they got certified trainers, for example. And the approach, is that a coincidence? I was talking to one of the professors yesterday, Gerardo Silveira, and he was one of the teams who won. And some of them, when I talked about the program, some of them, one of the things that realized is when when they mentioned, remember, specifically the thinking hat process, that they find that interesting when they run projects, academic projects, with students. Like, oh, now I understand we have this personality and that personality. Let's make teams to run specific, even though it's not an innovation project, it's like a logistics problem or any other challenge. They think about that specific part of the program. That's what they say. Now I know who is the blue one and the white one. So now I can make teams according to that organization. For example, another example, I have received phone calls saying, when are we going back? When are we doing the next level? One of the person who visited that time is the dean of what we call leadership here, the leadership program. And I think she's one of the person who is going to listen from us to listen to our proposal. And I think she's going to be very happy to hear that we are thinking about introducing the offer into the academia. Many of the, as I mentioned, many of the professors, that was the first time I saw them, and we are spread all over the country. So in order to have more answers for your question, I would have to call them to the different sites in the country. But definitely it's according to what they were saying, it was a life-changing process too.
Great. Maria, thank you for the question. Alberto, thanks for the answer. Just want to share with everybody over here, GIMI has played a big role in partnering with universities from a long time. And for those who may not be aware, our story begins with Hult International Business School, where at one moment, every student at Hult International Business School was getting the GIMI certificate. They would go through this action project where they would do a real project for a real client, they learn the methodology. And once they learn the methodology, they would get a test, GIMI level 1 certificate. Then they do the project, they would get the level 2 process certificate. Combine that together, that was a certified innovation professional. So every student, almost close to 3,000 students a year were getting the certificate in 2014, 15, 16, right? And we also had the same program running with Jinhong in Korea at Yonsei University, where we brought in companies like Samsung and LG and airline companies, Jeju Airline, Airways, and many others. And we work with the university, and we still do that with Yonsei University, where the students will participate in this program and they get the same thing. So this is it's a program that is run by the university, not us from GIMI running it for them from the outside in. It's been run from the inside out. Similarly, we have programs running in Trento and Lucca in Italy. And they've been running this for a while also. We also have similar programs in Guatemala, in De Valle University, and it happens over there. So the notion of this happening in-house is the big idea, saying how do we get GIMI to become a strategic partner of universities, and then the universities teach this with faculty, like at Monterrey Tech, that Alberto's doing, and they teach it to their own students. And suddenly we got hundreds and thousands of people getting trained from the inside out. And we have the same program this year at the University of Miami, the business school. The University of Miami Business School, the whole business school class was trained on GIMI level 1. They did a project, and they were really, really same sort of experiences that we hear that Alberto was mentioning. Again, anybody who goes through these programs of training and doing a real project, they come out high-fiving each other, saying, high five, life-changing experience. I learned something. They talk about it for the rest of their lives. And Jinhong, I'm sure if you were to poll the students, the program 5 years later, they'll tell you the same thing most likely. So the people who do this project really love it. So what I want to really do from us who are in the academic side of GIMI, in Dubai is HIC. HIC wants to do a strategic partnership with GIMI. I know in Jordan, Dr. Ibrahim is working to do the same thing. I'm going to give him the floor to talk about what they're trying to do. Yes. But we need to do this, and we need to get a university partner in every country. And that university partner then basically spreads it out, and their brand, the university brand, along with the GIMI brand, reinforces each other. Right? And that's the whole big idea of this thing. So I want to give the floor for a second to Dr. Ibrahim Raweb there, and he'll share what they're trying to do in Jordan, and then maybe Jin Hong and Bob and others can talk about how we can connect each other.
Thank you, Achpiad, and also thank you for Alberto about his presentation. What I would like to brought actually today, not next week. It's supposed to present what I'm planning to, what we are thinking here in Jordan about that perspective. It will be in my presentation next week. However, today I received a support for 100 faculty members from Jordanian universities to take GIMI actually certificates. So that's the reason I jumped actually to put it on the table, that we would like to establish innovation management in the mindset of academia. So 100 faculty members in different Jordanian universities will start working with us according to the GIMI model, and to promoting innovation in academia and universities. However, down the road, hopefully it will be a full program or a full discipline, as you said before, you know. So hopefully we are moving in that directions toward establishing the pace for academia and innovation management in Jordan.
That's great, Dr. Ramde. So this is exactly what we want to do. GIMI has got multiple focuses. One of them is corporations. That's where we started, helping big Fortune 500 companies manage innovation. We moved from there into SMEs, small and medium-sized organizations also. We realized students were the talent to be helping these organizations, companies to do that. So we said, let's use student teams in universities to help the big companies. And we bridged that together. Now what we are saying is, hey, let's teach every student, if possible, on this thing. And let's now get the faculty to also start innovating academia, as Alberto is saying, but also having the professors basically saying innovation management is a system. So that's another vertical, academia. And Excel is working with us right now, putting together a list of faculty, a list of innovation management professors, universities, to even do a top ranking, which is the most highest ranked innovation management school. And we produce that from GIMI to say which is the top ranked schools, what are they teaching? We're putting a body of knowledge for us to share with each other. What are they using and what are they not using? So what I would really like to spearhead amongst all of us here is another small group, a working group around academia. And how do we win academia? How do we fight our bureaucracies? How do we make sure that this becomes a real thing and maybe drive that and lead that forward? So just want to put that.
Consider me the first one to join, actually. Okay.
Perfect. There's Dr. Bob. There's Ibrahim.
Alberto, you got three right here. Here we go. One of the things that happens here is if my institution knows that somebody else is doing something and they're getting ahead of us, they pay more attention. If it doesn't look like anyone's doing anything, then they say, well, we'll wait, or we're doing it, or whatever. So I think the opportunity to share the course outlines, and the outline that you use for HALT, for when you teach the courses there, if you could send that to us, that would be very helpful, because then we could say, here's what's already happened in these other institutions. If we have kind of a similar course outlines, then the students might be able to take an online course and have a count at a different institution. But the fact that you've already taught that many times should be very helpful. What are the percentages? What are the deliverables for the students? What are the different things that you do? That would be very helpful rather than us just starting from scratch.
Dr. Robert, your hand is up again, or?
No. Oh, sorry, I finished. Sorry.
So, Alberto, what you've given us is you've catalyzed us into action. The presentation is fantastic. Really helped us see how how excited students are, the faculty is interested, academia wants to change and modernize and do all those kind of things. And GIMI's objective, there should be a goal for 2022. How many universities are going to be GIMI, providing GIMI training worldwide? And we should choose a target. I've asked Excel to find out what that target should be, right? But we must have a target. Right now, we're doing ad hoc opportunistic. It's not strategic. We've got to move from ad hoc opportunistic to strategic. I think we want to get 20 universities. And these 20 university professors will talk to each other, they'll help each other, and really navigate their own organizations by learning from each other to make it happen, number one. Number two, then from 20, we go to 200. But if we get from 20 to 200, that's 200 countries, one in every country, we have certainly made a big impact. And we want the logo of Yonsei University there. We want the logo of Harvard or MIT there. We want the logo of Monterrey Tech there. And we want those big logos to say, these are our strategic partners. And somewhere around, centered around that is us, all of us from GIMI. We are making it happen, right? So that's the big idea on the academic side. And we have the tools, we have the methodologies, we got the case studies, we got the stories. It's just a matter of doing it now, right? And so I hope the working group will come together on this. So Alberto, I'm going to give you the last few words and we'll wrap this session from our presentation from Alberto, which I think has been very powerful in catalyzing us.
Yeah. One important thing that I don't want to forget to mention here is that innovation is romantic, of course, but it's not only that. It's not only the romantic part of learning something. The most important thing that I believe I have to mention here is the companies that are listening to students after 5 days, in our case, are saying, dude, I never thought about that. Results. That's something that we have to keep in mind. It's not only learning a methodology, but how you apply it and how the client understand someone else is going to contribute to their efforts. That's important. And I remember great examples of companies saying, dude, I never thought about that. I'm going to not only appreciate your presentation, but I'm going to give you a gift card because your results, your proposal is helpful for the company. So it is not only the methodology, but what they do with what they learn. That's a competency. And that's something that I have to, I like to say it's important too. So thank you very much again. It was great meeting you guys, and I'll be happy to continue conversations if you find it useful.
Thank you very much, Alberto. Really appreciate your support and help in this thing. Okay,